Hi, this is Siraj, your host, Unleashing Talent. Welcome to the leadership series of podcasts. And today we would be focusing more on the personal excellence side. And as part of that, we would talk about what is self-perception. I think this is one of the very, very important and critical competencies of emotional intelligence. And for any leader to be successfully leading his team, his organization, and for himself, and when I say himself, it is all the way more important. So the leader needs to have very sound body, very sound mind, a very sound heart. So the combination of three sounds basically would form a great leader. So let's say the leader has to lay off, so it impacts him as an individual. If the leader has to make a decision for cutting down the cost, the leader has an impact on himself. If the leader has to go in for merger or for an acquisition, a leader has a pressure. If the leader is getting into a new territory and taking the risk, the leader has a psychological element involved into it. So the point I'm making is, if you look at the role of a leader in an organization, it requires him to be at the best of himself, in terms of his well-being. And today's discussion is primarily focused on well-being, and in particular how you perceive yourself as a leader. So there are three things that we feel, based on our learning, that are absolutely important for any leader to be effective and successful in. If I ask you the question, who is the most important person for you? It is you, nobody else. If you're not okay, things are not okay. So for leaders, it's not easy to make decisions that would affect the organization and people. It's very important for a leader to have broader understanding of him or herself. So the self-regard, I think, is very important. It is accepting who you are, what you are, and understanding your strengths and weaknesses, and focusing more on the strengths in particular. And if you feel that there are areas of opportunities, you accept that. You don't feel that your weaknesses or areas of opportunities are something that could become hindrance, because leaders hire leaders, they produce leaders to support them. So it is absolutely important that you always remain associated with your feelings and your inner strength and the self-confidence. So that is absolutely important. So when you have high self-regard, it leads to high self-esteem, and you remain self-assured, and you accept yourself, and you have a good sense of who you are, very confident and feel fulfilled. So that's the acceptance of yourself. And regarding yourself, it is paying that due respect to yourself, your personality, and who you are. And leaders who are low on this might feel unsure of themselves, or lack self-respect, or lead to low esteem, lack of confidence, might hesitate. Remember, it happens all the time with all of us in some form or the other. But the question is, are we aware of it? If you are aware, then the next time you are confronted with a situation, you are able to manage yourself, lead yourself effectively. So we are talking about leading in context. So you're able to lead yourself better when you know yourself better. The second important element is the self-actualization, what we call your ability and willingness to continuously improve yourself and engage yourself in meaningful and purposeful objectives, and create situations where you enjoy life. That's why you are a leader, and you need to be different. So people feel full and rich and feel very energized all the time, remain passionate and enthusiastic because they know what their purpose is and why they exist, and they motivate. And remember, when you demonstrate these competencies and capabilities, you become a positive contagion, and you positively impact and influence people's lives. Even if you don't make efforts, people look at you, people see you, and then people learn from you just by seeing you, meeting you, talking to you, looking at you. Remember, a leader walking down the floor, giving a smile to their people, or another leader walking down the floor, and like people, when look at him, like people say, wow, no, horrible. That leader shows everything on his face, and people read the face and feel insecure. So you have a choice as a leader to show your passion and enthusiasm, because you know that people look up to you and you're a role model. So it's very important for leaders to be maybe spiritual, or maybe you do some yoga or mindfulness. And remember, imagine of a leader who's unmotivated and lacks meaning in life. That's how he or she feels, and not pursuing enjoyable things. How would that leader? Would you like to lead a leader, work for a leader who himself is not sure about himself, right? So leaders have responsibilities. The third element is the assessment of your own emotions in terms of what are different reactions. And we are talking about leadership in context. So if you are confronted with a situation where you have a revenue loss, or some untoward situation in the business, how do you respond as an individual? What are your emotional reactions? That's the business context. In the personal context also, the anger, the ego, the different emotions that people have. Are you aware how you respond as an individual in different situations? If you're aware, then if the next time that situation happens, you have a strategy to not react in a natural way, but hold, take some time, and then respond to that situation. So it is helpful for you and for your people and for your organization. So people who are high on self-aware, they are able to relate to their own feelings, right, and understand the changing emotions and a blend of emotions, and absolutely self-aware and remain in touch of their emotions. They are able to read people well because they know what emotions are and how people react. So you increase your empathy also. So you become a listener because you understand the value of emotion. Somebody shares, feels good about it, things like that. So, and on the other side, if you are low on your emotional self-awareness, then you will start fumbling and you would deny your own feelings, probably avoid emotional ownership or situations, and then that's not the correct thing. So coming back to the topic, it's absolutely important for leaders to be emotionally intelligent, in particular being self-aware. That's absolutely important. So self-perception, we discussed three elements: the self-regard, self-actualization, and self-awareness. So I'm hoping this is a small talk on how important it is for leader to understand himself, respect his own self, and understand his emotional responses, have purpose and meaning in life. And that's the foundation for any leader as part of the personal excellence. Thanks a lot for your time. Hopefully you learned a couple of things from this podcast, and hope to interact with you again on some other topic. Truly appreciate your time. Take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.